Tzitzit tutorial for all those looking to make your own at home. This is what you need. You're going to need some kind of clamp or something to hold your project steady. This is a modified one that I made, but they do come in smaller sizes. You just can't do as many at the same time. You're also going to need string per numbers 15. Blue is a must, but other colors are fine as well. Magnifying glass, scissors, and measuring tape. You're going to start by cutting 4 strings of any color at about 30 inches, and then a 5th string of blue at 50 inches. I would also suggest a band-aid to protect your finger. You take all of the strings and fold them in half, leaving the long end long, and tie a loop in the end. You're going to be using this to attach to everything. This is your attachment loop. It's important for it to be not too long, but not too small. I find my tiny finger works pretty good for the sizing. This will hold it steady while you're working with the string. Next, split your string in half and tie 2 half knots. First one with the long string and a second one with the short strings. Get everything nice and snug. You don't want these knots coming out. Then separate out your long string and do a simple loop knot, binding all of the strings together. That's why it's long. You're doing a lot of tying with it, so it needs to be quite a bit longer. We're going to do this 7 times. Usually it's because 7 is the number of completion. It is the number of the weeks. It's what everyone says is God's favorite number. So we get the 7 knots, binding all the strings together. Then you split them in half again, and you do 2 more half knots, one with the long side, one with the short side. And you just keep doing that over and over and over. I like to get 7 rows of knots put into my tzitzis. That would be 7 rows of 7. This is why you need a magnifying glass. In case you forget how many knots you put in, you can always check. You're going to need that. Here I have all of my sets lined up, ready to go. This is 3 complete sets, so that's for 12 tzitzits. And of course my daughters love making these as well, so today was just a tzitzit day for the whole family. Altogether, it's going to be a little over 784 knots, so let's get tying. This is a 10-5-6-5 knot scheme corresponding with Yod-He Vav-He. So there's less knots. I'm doing a slightly different end, but this is how I end pretty much all of my tzitzits. I just do one big solid knot to hold everything together. But because this one has less knots, instead of doing 7, it only has 4. So I'm going to do a second knot at the end to finish this one off. 2 big knots at the end. Usually I just do 1. And here are all of our tzitzis completed. You can see my daughters and then my 3 different sizes from large to small. We have tried out a lot of ways of hanging clips on you. Don't use those silver ones, they are awful. But the rest of these have worked in varying ways. These are the ones we use absolutely the most. They attach to everything, they hold really great. These are good for attaching to individual belt loops. And this is a homemade belt hanger that I made. It literally wraps around your belt and holds them securely and snugly all day long. I just made it with some scrap leather and some snaps. It's really one of my favorites. Or if you want to go simple, you can just use bobby pins. All that matters is we're obeying the Father's commands. Maybe this gave you some ideas. I hope you enjoyed my